So, folks, it is the 12th day of our 13 horrors for Halloween. This is the 12th video, and this is the night before Halloween, the most sacred of all holidays in the mind of most DEADPIT viewers and listeners. And I know what you're thinking. You're probably thinking, alright, here's the point where he pulls out some Halloween movie, like the Halloween franchise movie that John Carpenter started. And I was thinking, Halloween, Halloween 3, both of them really do a great job of capturing the vibe of Halloween. But everybody does those. That's the thing. Once you get to a point, it's really it gets hard to come up with anything different because, they're all the movies that people watch around Halloween. Night of the Living Dead, Halloween, Evil Dead, the ones that really get a lot of play. So I wanted to still stick with the theme of talking about films that maybe don't get a lot of recognition. And this one is set in the fall, I will say that. It is almost like a psychological thriller mixed with a home invasion angle. And this is Alone in the Dark. And I know what you're thinking, but calm down. This is not the Uwe Boll Alone in the Dark. No, sir. This is the 1982 Jack Sholder directed Alone in the Dark, which stars Jack Palance, Donald Pleasance, and Martin Landau, as well as Erland Van Lith, who you might remember as Dynamo from the Running Man movie. Oh my God. I'd never seen this movie until a couple of years ago, and I don't think a lot of people have seen this movie, but here's what's going on. Jack Palance, Martin Landau, and Erland Van Lith are all in a mental asylum run by Donald Pleasance, and a new doctor comes in. I think Dwight Schultz is the guy that plays him, and one of them is a pyromaniac, one of them is like a convicted sex fiend, child molester type of character, and the other one is like just a purebred, insane schizophrenic guy. So he becomes convinced, the preacher character played by Martin Landau becomes convinced that the new therapist, the new psychiatrist, has done something to their favorite old psychiatrist, and they decide that they want to take revenge on him for the perceived slight. So in the film, all their cells are powered by electricity. It's like a new kind of confinement system where it's all run by the generator and the power that's run into the asylum. So there's a blackout, and all their doors come open in the asylum, and basically they all escape, and they go to hunt down this doctor. Well, in the meantime, they basically run rampant over this town, and I believe like the shit that they do in it is what makes it so funny. Jack Palance goes to a punk rock concert. I think the Sick Fucks are the band, that they get to play in there. He like ends up at that concert, and there's like younger women hitting on him, and that's just weird. And like they end up at a bar, and they end up running over a mailman and for his hat, and it's just most bizarre stuff. So in a way, it's kind of comical. Also, they end up stealing a hockey mask from a sporting goods store and using it. One of the guys dresses up with the hockey mask as he's killing people, which this film came out in 82, so it was actually a precursor to the Friday the 13th Part 3, which came out in 83, where where Jason actually wears the hockey mask for the first time. So that's another thing about the movie that people talk about to this day, is was that the first time or was that the inspiration for that hockey mask and all that stuff? Who knows? So here's some great parts about this film. Number one, you've got 3 guys in the film that were nominated for an Academy Award. In a low-budget horror film that nobody knows about, you got 3 guys that have been nominated for an Academy Award over the years. So, needless to say, the acting is really well done. Even though it is a little bit cheesy, it's really well done. When the film actually is like 2 different parts. The first part is it's like a exposition, so you get to see just how crazy these guys are, type of thing. And Jack Palance plays a crazy guy in everything, because Jack Palance looks fucking crazy, and he pulls that off really well. Mark Landau, it's a bit of a stretch, but when they do the actual build up of the film, you can really tell that these guys actually did put some thought into the characters that they were playing. So that's the first part of the film, and then you get to meet Donald Pleasance's doctor character, who's like a weird hippie existentialist doctor who smokes marijuana, and he's real free with them, and he calls them voyagers, and they're on the path of life and all the crystal tarot card reading stuff that those kind of people do. So he loves them and thinks that they're all nature's children and all this stuff, until what happens in the end. The second part of the film is more of a home invasion story, where Dr. Schultz, the new psychiatrist, or I guess it's Dwight Schultz playing the new psychiatrist, is trapped in the house with his family and his sister, who I think came in for some reason. I can't remember exactly why now. And so they're all trapped, and they're under siege as the killers try to make their way into the house. That's like an entirely different movie. When that happens, the film really goes from being like tongue-in-cheek, kind of campy. Here's all these old timers in this film. They're going to punk rock clubs and they're murdering people in like a comical fashion, and it switches from that to a real, holy shit, there's escaped mental patients that want to kill my family type of film. So I think it would be a great film to watch around Halloween, because it has a very unique vibe to it that I've never really been able to find in any other film. Actually, all of Jack Sholder's films have really weird undercurrents and tones. I mean, Jack Sholder, the guy who directed this, is also the guy responsible for Nightmare on Elm Street 2, which I think everyone can agree is the most homoerotic horror film, with the exception of maybe Rock and Roll Nightmare, that has ever been made. And The Hidden, which is another movie that was like 20 years ahead of its time, and low budget but still great, and just had another vibe to it as well that has never really been equaled. Alone in the Dark is a film, I guess at the heart it's a slasher film, maybe an exploitation film, but it's filmed a lot better. The cinematography is a lot better than most low budget slasher films of this time. So that's what I'm going to recommend. I think we're both going to do the next video, but for right now, Alone in the Dark rarely gets any recognition, really does deserve to get more recognition than it does. Don't mistake this, like I said once again, with the crappy fucking video game Uwe Boll rendition. You can get this through Image Entertainment. Check us out at DEADPIT.com. If I don't see you before then, we've got the Halloween 2 commentary already up. It's an amazing commentary, if I do say so myself, and I'm blowing my own horn. Whatever, it's awesome. It'll be up for a week, and then it'll be on sale, so you better get it now while the getting's good. Check it out over at DEADPIT.com now.